Welcome to Youth Ki Baat by Youth of India Foundation. In this episode, we feature Manjeet Singh, co-founder of FlexifyMe, a health tech startup helping people overcome chronic pain and improve mobility through personalized and tech-driven care. What began as an idea to bring flexibility and better posture into everyday life has grown into a platform combining AI, physiotherapy, and lifestyle coaching to make long term wellness accessible. Manjeet ji shares his entrepreneurial journey, the challenges of building in the health tech space, and why solving real problems with consistency matters more than quick fixes. Join us for this insightful conversation only and only on Youth Ki Baat. Namaste Manjeet ji, welcome to Youth Ki Baat by Youth of India Foundation. It is an absolute pleasure to be talking to you today. For the start, could you please walk us through your journey before FlexifyMe and how did you decide on starting FlexifyMe?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. So before FlexifyMe, I was the co-founder and CEO for an edtech startup called Buddy for Study. So Buddy for Study is India's largest scholarship platform, and the idea was always to help underprivileged children in getting scholarships so that they can complete their education. So in Buddy for Study, it was an amazing experience. Worked with a lot of underprivileged kids across almost 26 states. We were managing close to about 100 crore worth of scholarships every year, and we had almost 7 lakh plus kids in getting scholarships and completing their education. So that was my basically first experience with the education and kids. After that, after I got an exit from Buddy for Study raised about few rounds of funding, scaled the company from about few hundred users on the platform to close to about 5 million registered users by the time I was getting out. And the company still goes strong, and that's when I co-founded FlexifyMe in about 2021 with my other co-founder Amit Menon.
Right. So, how did you plan on finding this solution to spondylitis, physiotherapy as a feasible solution? What was going on in your mind when you actually founded this company?
So again, so when I was working for Buddy for Studies, so in 2021, in 2016, 17, I was diagnosed with lumbar spondylitis, and that was basically the time everything started becoming very difficult. So even sleeping was a problem. The pain was very high. I couldn't even play sports. Even working was very very difficult, and that's when I understood the problem, and I started going to different physiotherapists. I went to a lot of orthopedic doctors, chiropractor, hot therapy. I just tried almost like everything. The idea was when you have pain, so the main thing that you are thinking about is how to get rid of the pain, because then it becomes the harsh reality. So that was the time after struggling with this problem myself. I worked on various solutions and ultimately found out the root cause for all these kinds of problems, and I was able to resolve or solve this problem, got rid of the pain, and then I decided that okay, I want to do something in this space, help more people in getting rid of the pain was the whole idea.
Oh, that's great. What are some of the key learnings from Buddy for Study, and how did you implement that in FlexifyMe as well?
Sure. So I think one of the biggest learning that I had in Buddy for Study was the impact that technology can bring. Actually, again, when we started Buddy for Study, it was mostly we were doing like going to colleges one by one, identifying the kids who wanted scholarship for completing their schooling or college, and we were only able to help a very limited amount of kids, like in the initial years. And that's when we decided that is if we have to help more number of kids, then we need to bring some technology solution for scaling it up. And that's how we started building India's first scholarship platform, and we built a technology through which more scholarships can be managed, and slowly we were able to multiply the number of kids we can help out, or basically we were able to increase the impact we were doing. So that was the time. Again, I understood that is okay. If I want to solve again this pain problem, so technology has to be the main thing, which can the main enabler which can help us in scaling it up. And that's when my other co-founder Amit. so who's a hardcore techie. So we got together and we started understanding how we can enable technology in helping with the pain solutions, and that's how FlexifyMe was born.
That's great. So you're actually in the industries which are leading and competing right now, healthcare and education.
Yes.
Where do you see these industries moving in the next 5 years?
No, I think healthcare, the way technology is coming, or especially I'll say AI, is transforming this industry like it's amazingly. So in the next few years, we can imagine, we can't even see the larger impact AI will have in the health industry, because currently in India, all the primary healthcare is overloaded. So many cases are coming in, people are getting more aware. So getting access to quality healthcare in India is very difficult, especially in tier two, tier three cities. And I think that's where AI is going to be a major transforming force that will help even people in tier two, tier three cities getting world class healthcare facilities over a period of time.
Very good. What was your biggest hurdle in starting FlexifyMe, and how did you actually aware people about it and how to use it?
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest challenge that we faced, like we always wanted to bring technology into this space, like physiotherapy. So the I mean, when people in India, especially when they talk about physiotherapy, so they always think about physical touch, and using the machines and all that. So when we started at the digital therapy, I mean, initially we just were a completely digital platform. We started with the digital physiotherapy through Zoom and using our AI technology. So it was very difficult for people to understand, and that's where we decided that is okay. First, let us focus more on tier one cities, people who are already working in the technology industry, and that's where our initial focus was. And slowly, as we scaled up, as more and more success stories started coming out, so the acceptance started to grow in India in the digital therapy space also.
Any one success story that you would like to share?
Yeah, I think the one of the first case study when we started FlexifyMe. So I was working in the sales myself, like talking to a lot of clients. So one of the client was Preeti Sachdeva. She had a severe atypical facial problem like neck pain, back pain. She was on medications for almost like 10 years. And when we suggested her, okay, this could be a way you can get rid of this pain and in a non-invasive way. Initially, it was very difficult for her to understand. So I personally gave her a guarantee that is, you don't worry, you just try, and if you feel okay, then you can continue. And she started, and within about 4 to 5 months, so her pain medication stopped after 12 years, and there's a really a transforming thing for her. And she literally visited. She's from Bangalore. She visited us in Pune just to meet us and the team.
That's so
Thank
sweet.
us for the the overall transformation we can bring in her life.
That actually defines what you're building.
Yes.
How important do you think is consumer feedback and customer feedback when it comes to services like this?
No, I think consumer feedback or customer transformation stories are the main building block for us, and that has been from day one. Even today, like every day, I make sure that is I'm talking to few clients and understanding their problem and understanding how our solution is helping or where our solution is lacking, so that we can keep adding more layers to it, so that it can become more effective in helping people with the pain. So I would say that is basically our zero building block. Like, I mean, everything is built on top of customer feedback and their solutions.
Okay, great. How has your life transformed with FlexifyMe?
Uh, Overall, yeah. I mean, so for an entrepreneur, so like every day is a new learning. And
Right.
after I got into healthcare, so I did not have much personal experience in healthcare or especially the medical background. But after getting into this particular field, started learning a lot. Read a lot of books, a lot of case studies, did certifications, and today I have a very good understanding about health. It is definitely helping me personally. Even my parents, my mother used to have knee pain, so now she's also completely living pain free. Like my father used to have neck pain, back pain. He's also pain free. So personally, it is an amazing story for the entire family.
So, could you please walk us through your normal day in a life? What you do related to fitness, health, and wellness. You've also recently done the 200-day challenge, right?
Yes.
Could you please share some learnings from that too?
Sure, definitely. I think after getting into the health industry, even before that, I always had a lot of interest in health, and I always believe that health comes before everything else, even money, even everything else. Because most of the time, what we end up doing is we work hard during our 20s 30s, and the idea is always to have good money when we retire so that we can have a good life. But hustle period, yeah. And mostly now what I have realized is, of talking to a lot of people, that people save money, for their retirement, but ultimately they are spending that saved money on health issues. They are not taking care of their health in 20s, 30s, or early 40s, and they end up having a lot of health issues. And most of the money which should have been spent on their enjoyment is getting spent on healthcare. So that's where my personal belief is that his health should always come first, so that we can enjoy our life even after retirement. And I personally, I get up like very, very early. I'm an early riser. I usually get up anywhere between 4:15 a.m. to 4:30 a.m. I usually start my day with 5 to 7 kilometer of a run. I do a little bit of yoga. I do meditation, and read some book, and that's how I start my day. So usually, initial 1.5 2 hours, I always keep it for myself, even before the family is up, my kids are up. Because once family is up, then most of the time you are just getting through the day. Something or the other keeps coming up, even office work, family, something keeps coming up. So, but yeah, initial few 2 hours is something that I dedicate to myself and my health.
Does that help you to reduce stress as well?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think entrepreneurship, again, stress is something which is part and parcel of the day.
Right.
So having effective stress management is very, very important, and that's why whenever I meet a lot of young entrepreneurs, I always tell them that is, take care of your mental health first, and try and get into habit of at least doing 10 minutes of meditation that can do wonders in personal lives.
Don't you think young people nowadays have glorified the hustle culture and not taking care of their own health and everything like that?
Yeah.
What is the one advice you would give to the young founders? What are the traits that one founder should have in this age?
So, yeah, I think even overall entrepreneurship is too much glorified, and usually people, when they get into it, so they don't understand the amount of patience that is needed to build a solid company. And yeah, honestly, I have seen that hustle culture is again getting too much glorified, but the idea is patience and taking care of your health is very, very important. I mean, recently we have seen a lot of tragedies of young founders, their health. So that's where I think advice for all the young entrepreneurs is, first take care of your health. First your health should be the first priority. And when I say health, physical health, mental health combined is very, very important. So take care of your health, and then take care of the business or the work or the dreams that they have.
Right. What role does patience play in one person's life as well?
Yeah, I think be it an entrepreneur or be it any part of the life, patience is very, very important, and I think that is one thing which young people are missing out on. The patience, they need everything very, very fast. This is the new culture which is coming up in India.
Short-term reward.
Yeah, exactly, short term reward, because that's the culture which is becoming like Instagram. We watch reels that gives an instant kick. Now, Zepto, Zomato, everything is coming very, very quick. So usually we want the results very, very fast. But in life, it takes time, and being patient is very, very important. And the idea is to focus on the long-term growth rather than on the short-term gains. Is how usually entrepreneurship plays out.
Very right. Even I can talk about that the short term dopamine boosts have increased so much that people have actually forgotten how to look at the long term growth.
Okay.
And that is where the most founders, the entrepreneurs in the young age are lacking at.
Okay.
So what is your view about being a person who is determined, who is ambitious and working towards a particular goal?
Look, like you mentioned, again, the focus has to be on the long term growth. So when you have a vision, so the vision has to be 5 years, 10 years down the line. What exactly we want to be personally, like as a person, or the growth that we're looking at. So rather than having short term boost is not what we should look at. And failing again, a lot of people take failing as a negative thing, but you have to understand failing is just part of the parcel of life. Like, if you see a kid, when they are walking, so they keep falling. So, but the idea is if they start to take that fall too seriously, they'll never be able to walk. So, because in life, so failure is just a single part of the entire journey. And the idea is to keep focus on the long term, because the baby knows that they have to walk, they have to run. When they see people around them, everybody is walking, everybody is running, so they know that they will reach there. So the idea is keep falling, keep getting up, keep trying, and not really taking short term failures too seriously.
Very. Have you had any of these low moments while building FlexifyMe as well, and how did you deal with it?
Honestly, like almost once a week we have these kind of moments whenever we are trying something. So
That's an entrepreneur's life.
and we realize, okay, this is not working out. Then we suddenly feel, whatever we are doing, is it really worth it? Are we gonna make it or not? So it's a part of every entrepreneur's life. I mean, if I just talk about in terms of the success or failure, so I would say we have more failures than successes. So it would be like maybe 70% are the failures that we face, and only 20 to 30% of the successes that we usually have. So in an entrepreneur's life, failures are always much more as compared to the successes. But the idea is from those failures, we keep working on it and keep enjoying the journey rather than only working on the end goal.
Right. So whenever you find a company with someone else as well, when you have two co-founders on board, there are a lot of failures and successes that you have to deal with together. How important it is to have a co-founder, and what are the traits that you look for a co-founder?
No, honestly speaking, I think having a co-founder is like a blessing, and the most important thing is having the should say having the right co-founder. I mean, it's like a marriage. I mean, if you marry a wrong person, so life starts to become very difficult. Even the same way in entrepreneurship, because you spend almost 10 to 12 hours in office more than you spend with your family members. So if you end up with a wrong co-founder, so it becomes very challenging, very stressful, and it's painful. I've gone through that myself. But yeah, having the right co-founder like I and Amit, so we usually have very similar qualities. We always focus on the long term. We always believe that work should be enjoyed. I mean, as something that we enjoy, it shouldn't become painful, and that is the culture that we want to build. And always the focus is doing the right thing rather than success. For us, more important thing is doing the right thing, right way, even if it takes longer time. We are okay with it.
Right. Could you please also share your experience with Shark Tank and how did it go? How is your dynamic with Namita ji right now?
But yeah, Shark Tank was an amazing experience, like one of the best, I think, experiences that we had so far in FlexifyMe. And again, it was, we're just trying, so we tried in the season two, so we couldn't get through. We reached to the final stage, but we couldn't get through. Then we applied in again in season three, and we finally got selected. Experience was very different. Like we went to the film city, like 4 days. They keep taking you there, smaller rehearsals on something on dress, something on how you speak, something on the numbers. So there are so many teams that are working with us, but usually for the initial 3 days when we are rehearsing, so we are not allowed to meet any of the shark. Then on the final day, there are no retakes once they put you in front of the sharks, and usually it's a very long, grueling session. So our session was somewhere around I think 2 hour 20 minutes was the overall session, and in these same, I mean, in the overall the 2 hour 20 minutes, so there were some highs, when they praise, there are some lows when they grill you. So and the best part is you're never sure when you're going live, so which 20 minutes are they gonna pick? Are they gonna be picking the good part? Are they gonna be picking the bad part? So we also only get to see on the last day. And Namita has been like an amazing partner. And overall, we heard stories that usually money takes very long to come in, but with Namita, it was super fast speed. The team, even Namita's team is like Hitendra, was like amazing guy, and the money came in almost within about 1.5 2 months of finishing the show. And since then, we have met Namita a few times. Her team is also in constant touch, and it's a very very helpful overall.
Was there any fun moment behind the scenes that you can recall?
Oh yeah, yeah. So a lot. I mean, so my biggest challenge is I'm not very good with names. So initially, first when Namita made us an offer, so I said, yeah, thank you for your offer. We take your offer, Vinita. And everybody was almost like falling off the chairs. They said somebody is giving you money and you don't even remember their name. So yeah, it's like they enjoy. We had a lot of fun during that entire conversation with the sharks, and they all of them they try just to make sure that is we feel more comfortable and we are able to give our best.
Right. So now talking about highs and lows that you just mentioned, that in the set itself there was a lot of praise, then there was a low coming in. How do you deal with this highs and lows in your life, and how do you measure growth as an entrepreneur?
No, I think like I mentioned, so usually in an entrepreneur's life, there are more lows than the highs. And I think one of the most important trait as an entrepreneur is you have to understand that it should not affect you as a person. So whatever we are doing, as long as our intentions are best, so failure is just a part of it. And the idea is, just learn from it, keep trying new things, and just to understand that there are a lot of things which are beyond our control. So we have to just accept and give our best. I think that is the most important thing, having the right intentions for your customers, for your employees, for the investors. I think that is the most important thing.
Right. Has it always been about solving a particular problem for you? The passion that drives it?
Yeah, mostly for me, entrepreneurship again, it was never about only about making money, big money, or getting a fame. So for me, it has been mostly personal. Like whenever I face some of the problems myself, so the idea is how can I help more people in in the similar situation? Is it possible? Can we use technology? Can we scale it up? So first, we always try to understand, is the problem big enough for us to get into it, to solve that problem for more people and make a meaningful business out of it. So once we are convinced, then it's about jumping into the sea, burning all the bridges, and just to find out a way. Very right. Marketing is something that is coming up a lot of verticals to it. How do you ensure the right marketing and FlexifyMe? Yeah, rightly said. Again, I come from a little bit of an old school. So when I came to FlexifyMe, that was the time I first created my Instagram account. I didn't have an Instagram account, and but slowly I realized that for making something like a FlexifyMe successful, it's a B2C company. So we need to have strong social media presence, and that's how we started finding the right person, because again internally we were not very strong with it. So started learning a lot, did a lot of courses on social media, and hired the right team. And slowly, now we have started, I think, getting a better grasp of Instagram, the organic growth. And recently, we got about our first 100,000 followers, and it was an amazing journey. For the 6 months, first 6 months, we only had 5,000 followers, and we were thinking that it's gonna take us like years to reach to about 100K. Then the next 6 months, we got 45,000. So within a year, we reached about 50,000. And suddenly, next 20 days, we got another 50,000, and like about 100,000 within a span of, I would say, just 2 months. Majorly is when we started seeing the growth. So that's what I mean. Now the team is very excited, and now I think we are getting a little better at it, and the idea is to grow that part very very fast. Are you forced by the social media people to make? All the time, all the time. So again, like as not very social media kind of guy. So that's what I mean. When I started doing it, so it was very very difficult. And the social media team has always been after me. इसको ऐसे नहीं बोलना है, ऐसे बोलो, इसको ऐसे नहीं करना, इसको ऐसे करो. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think I'm getting a little better at it every day.
How did that 200-day challenge come to your mind?
So again, like I mean, so when I had that problem like spondylitis, so that was basically the time. A lot of orthopedic doctors told me that you should go get a surgery. I was very fond of running, and they started saying, now you should say no to running, and you should only focus on walking and all that. And after I was able to reverse my problem, I was able to get rid of the pain completely. So then I decided that maybe I should try for a larger thing. Like I mean, test myself. I always believe in challenging myself in all the ways, and that's when I found Ironman. Ironman is basically one of the toughest races in India. And that's when I decided, okay, let me give it a shot. And that's when there were about close to 200 days, and I decided that I'll go for that, and I'll make that happen. And that's how that it all journey started.
That's amazing, as you said right now that you take challenges in all ways. So, do you actually have an ambition for the company and then you work towards it? Do you have a definite goal and you're ready to overcome every challenge that comes in between? And how helpful is the team behind it?
Yeah, we have like very large vision for FlexifyMe. Again, looking at the scale of the problem. So our idea is probably in the next 5 to 7 years. So we want to make it really big with vertical focus hospital chains, orthopedic hospital chains, and then that should take it to IPO is where we are heading. And behind every large dream, I think the most critical piece is the team. I think having the right team is the most important for us, and me and my other co-founder Amit. So I think the number one job is to find the right people and give them enough weapons so that they can actually help us in steering the company way forward. Because reaching to a large scale can't be done by one or two members. It has to be a lot of warriors that we need to identify, and make them, give them the trust to join us so that they can help us in this amazing journey.
What are traits that you look at while hiring people and identifying them and then placing them in the right place?
So three things I think which we always feel the trait in a leader. Like one thing is they should be passionate about what they are doing. Again, because once the glamour fades away, the only or when you hit a failure or a problem, so passion is something which drives you forward. To go beyond those that temporary failures. I would say passion is one thing. Second, for us, again, discipline is very very important, because when we are building something big, so the team members always learn from who's leading them. So discipline is again very important for us. And third thing is integrity, right? Like I mentioned, for us, important thing is doing the right way, even if it takes a little bit longer. So we are okay with it. So we don't really believe in shortcuts much. That's amazing. If you could swap your lives with somebody today, who would it be and why? Okay. Honestly, I love my life, but even if I could swap it, so maybe I'd just swap it with my daughter. Like she's about 3 years old, and I just love the way she enjoys each and every bit of life, like every moment. She's just working on something, happy, enjoying. So yeah, if I've got an opportunity, so I'll swap it with her. That's so cute. Is there any particular book or podcast that changed your perspective? Yeah, a lot of books. I mean, I'm a bookworm. I just read a lot of books. So a lot of books. I mean, so one of the amazing book was Man's Search for Meaning. So that I think is one book which tells that going beyond the temporary problems and situations is much more important in life. Having a longer vision for yourself as a character is what drives. We've always heard about underrated advices. What is the one overrated advices do you think is going on in this field? I'd say a lot of overrated advice. So most of the time, I see young entrepreneurs when they get into entrepreneurship. First thing that I ask them is, why they are doing it. So most common answer that we get is either money or fame. And I just keep telling them entrepreneurship is not about money or fame, because well, most of the time what happens is whenever you have wrong motivations when you get into it. So whenever you start hitting some, some challenges, some problems, some failures, so people just run away. So that's why having that right motivation intention is much more important for an entrepreneurship journey.
If you could have a brand ambassador for FlexifyMe, who would it be, and what is that one challenge you would give them?
I think somebody like Milind Soman is like an ideal person for us, because I'm amazed by his dedication to his fitness, even like at this age. So, he's just running like almost every month, 42-kilometer marathons, very fit, and just focuses on healthy living and natural is what is his constant focus has been on. Also, to share, we had a podcast with Nourishing Farms as well, and Milind is the brand ambassador for them. Oh, so yeah. We actually got to know the story about how he actually prioritizes healthy living and wellness. So that's definitely a right choice there. Yes. What's the one habit you think each entrepreneur should imbibe in their life? I think one habit which is very very important is whatever decisions we are taking. So constantly thinking about the decisions and understanding why we took those decisions, and finding whether they went in the right way. Learning, I think that constant learning from mostly like your decision making is very very important, because the idea is to just keep getting better at something. So whenever you are starting something, so if you start analyzing everything that we are doing and learning from it, so automatically your depth of knowledge in that field starts to grow, and I think that is very very important for an entrepreneur. Right, and how important is the confidence that you place in your own decision? I think again, as an entrepreneur, we have to take a lot of decisions. So most important thing is taking those decisions quickly, having trust in yourself, and even if it is a wrong decision, it's okay. Like I mentioned, right? So just understanding later on that what was the reason why you took that decision, and even if it failed, so learning from it so that next time we can take better decision. But quick decision making for an entrepreneur is, I think, very very crucial. Right. If you were meeting young Manjeet right now, if I was sitting here, what would be the one thing you would tell him? I would say have more fun on the journey. Initially, when I like started my first company, so I think I was focusing more on the outcome and the destination rather than enjoying the journey. But I think with time and life teaches you a lot of things. So now I've learned that is I should have been enjoying life more at that time rather than only focusing on the outcome. Right. Oh, is there any one rule that you break happily while being healthy? No, I think again. Pleasure. Yeah, so something like ice creams is something which I like. So usually whenever there's an ice cream, so I eat a lot of ice cream, but I just make sure that is next morning I just run that 5 kilometer extra. So the idea is not to limit the pleasure, but the idea is even if you're doing something occasionally, so balance it with the right way. Is there any one surprising thing that the client has shared with you regarding their own experience? Yeah, a lot of things. So a lot of the features, so when we work on just to give you an example. So initially, when we were building FlexifyMe, again, the tech was not there. So what we used to do is whenever clients were doing exercises, we used to take pictures, screenshots from the YouTube, and then we used to draw the lines just to explain it to them. Okay, this joint is not okay. This posture is not okay, and suddenly it used to light up, their eyes. And then we started realizing, okay, this is really helping them in understanding, and that's when for us it was not a major feature, but once we understood that this is something which clients are appreciating so much, so that's when we started building technology for it, and Amit and team quickly turned around, and now everything is automated and trying to make it better and better. Was that actually the turning point of you integrating complete AI into the space? Yes. For us, that was basically the time when we decided, okay, this is the part of AI which is going to be making a big difference for us. And even now we have offline centers, so that technology still remains the same, even whether we're doing online sessions or we're doing offline sessions, it's same.
So I've seen videos of Amit ji and you actually performing the exercises and showing it to the people. So it is very necessary for the founder to try out and show what they're doing to the people to actually grasp it. Was there any feedbacks you were getting on that too? Your videos, Amit sir's videos?
No, no, we keep getting that. I mean, so, and the good part of the Shark Tank is before Shark Tank, not a lot of many people knew us, but now when a lot of
Personal
clients,
branding.
and a lot of clients when they come, and like I mentioned, so I speak with few clients every day, like mostly like Zoom call or something. So now whenever we go, so they identify as, oh, you were in the Shark Tank, आप तो Shark Tank पे थे, हमने देखा था आपने जो वो एक्सरसाइज किया था या वो रील हम लोगों ने जो है आपकी देखी थी. So I think that brings a lot of trust in the client's mind also.
Very right. If there was a particular Netflix series named after you, like named for you, what would it be?
Oh wow. That's a tough one. Okay, I am not sure. Maybe something on the transformation from my previous life. Like I mean, I used to be about almost 98 kgs and with a lot of pain. So
Okay.
yeah, after that, the overall transformation that I was able to get. So I think something related to that.
Okay, so that was before EdTech wala cheese, or that was
During the red tech wala, during the red tech. So when I had that back pain, so almost like for almost about a year and a half, so I was not doing much activities. Almost like 6 months I was bedridden for it, and that was basically the time when the overall things started to grew on me, and that's when I decided, like I mean, doctors were started suggesting that surgery is the only option for me to get rid of it, but I didn't want to go under the knife, and that's when I decided, I wanted to take control of the life and transform myself. And the main moment was like my kid, so my son, so he was about 1.5 year old, and doctor said you should not pick your kid. I think that was basically the time I decided, okay, they should stop now, and I have to change myself, and that's how that overall journey for health started for me.
I can see the transformation and it is so real.
Yes.
Kudos to you for that.
Thank you.
So you never thought about getting into a job or something, or do you have certain job experience, or did you actually end up in the entrepreneurship world directly?
Not much of a job experience. Yeah, I mean, after I did my marine engineering, I was in the merchant navy, so
Okay.
I was on shift for some time, but yeah, again, didn't like it. So one thing which has been good in life is finding what I love is a little difficult to find, but something that I don't like, I get that feeling very instantly. And when I feel that this is something which I don't like, I'm not passionate about, I just quickly drop it. I dropped that sailing after 2 months, and then I told my parents, okay, I'm not gonna go to sailing, and there was a lot of fight around it. Then I joined a call center, didn't like it, dropped out after 6 months, joined IBM, worked in it for a while, like 6 months, didn't like it, dropped out. And then I realized, okay, entrepreneurship is something my passion, and since then I've been into entrepreneurship.
Could you share some story of from the 2 months of sailing and being in the merchant navy?
Yeah, merchant navy life is like very very different. Mostly like you're in the sea, so you have a lot of time. And in the initial days, most of the the basically, I mean, I was an engineer, fifth engineer. So most of the time, the seniors used to ask us, trace karo, oil saaf karo, and all that menial work is what we're supposed to do. But there are a lot of time, and soon I realized that is if I continue with this job for a very long time, so I'll not be able to do something larger in life. And again, the idea was always to do something larger in life. And then, like I mentioned, so once I realized that this is not something which I've been doing it for next 15 20 years of my life, so then I decided if I'm not going to do it for 20 years, I'm not going to do it for 2 years. So I just dropped out of after 2 months and came back home.
So what was the idea behind getting into this space?
Yeah, I gave, I mean, like IT, I cleared IT exam, and in my hometown, I come from a very small town, which is Bahadurgarh. So there was, I come from a very, very low middle class family, and in my town, there was a guy who was into merchant navy, and whenever he used to come, he used to have, big car, a lot of luxurious life, and I think that was something which my family as well as I. So we thought that this is the and this is the most that we can make out of our life, and I think that was the reason I got into it. But later on, once I started doing it myself, I realized, okay, this is not something that I want to do for the next 15 years, and decided to drop out.
That, there's so many layers to the story. You have actually been a diverse personality all your life. How did your young college days look like?
So again, I mean, in college also, I was pretty determined. So like when when I was doing college, so I started a small startup in my college day also with one of my friend. But again, it was not something that we could scale, so I dropped out of it. But again, I used to love sports. Did a lot of sports, challenging myself in every ways. I think something which has been very close to me since very early days.
That's great. So, what was that one startup idea about, if you could share about it?
Hmm.
The first startup idea that you had?
Yeah, so like when I got into merchant navy, so then I realized that as like I mentioned, so in our hometown, like my hometown Baat, so there was this one guy who made it to the merchant navy. So after going to this college, I realized that is in Kolkata. So there were a lot of merchant navy colleges, small institutes, which were helping kids getting into merchant navy. So I thought, okay, maybe I could create a platform which could bridge between these small towns and these colleges, and help more kids get into this mainstream of merchant navy. And that's when we started that company. But again, it was pretty challenging those days because internet was not very powerful, and manually doing was really sucking all the energy, so couldn't focus on the college. We did it for almost like 5-6 months, but later on we dropped that.
Okay. How was your life at Kolkata? What did you like about it?
Oh, Kolkata was like a lot of fun. I think that is like one of the city. If you don't have much money, but you want to have a lot of fun, I think that ways Kolkata is best. Even in those days, having 100 rupees, and you can have the entire day with good 2-3 meals, enjoy, do a lot of fun on a weekend.
I can definitely agree to that. How would you describe both of these cities in 2 words? Kolkata and Pune.
Okay, Pune, amazing weather. Kolkata, yeah, a lot of fun.
Okay. That's great. That's great. We're walking towards the end of the podcast right now. What do you think, since we've talked about challenges so much, what do you think is a challenge that every young person should take up and should abide by?
Yeah, I think all the young ones. So one of the main thing that should they start doing is start challenging themselves in whatever they are doing. So idea is I see my kid also, like so he's very young, but most of the kids that I see are spending or wasting too much time on social media, not going outdoors, because outdoor sports is something which teaches you a lot and builds that grit. So again, one book that I read was like amazing book. The name of the book is Grit. So grit is, I think, that one quality talks about that is very important in life to become successful in anything. So grit is you keep failing, but you keep trying. You just keep doing that thing again. So after a while, your mind starts to get trained and you start becoming very good at it.
Very well. That is a wonderful note to end the podcast on. It was an absolute pleasure to be talking to you today, Manjeet ji.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Looking forward to much more collaborations in the future.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much.